Here's something most people don't realize until it's too late. You can be a normal weight, not overweight by any chart or scale, and still be carrying dangerous fat deep inside your body. Fat that wraps around your liver, your kidneys, your intestines. Fat that you can't see, can't pinch, and can't feel. It's called visceral fat. And honestly, it scared me when I first learned about it because visceral fat isn't just a cosmetic issue. It's been directly linked to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and even certain cancers. Doctors sometimes call it the hidden killer, not to be dramatic, but because so many people are walking around with dangerous levels of it and have absolutely no idea. And here's the frustrating part. Most of the advice out there is vague. Eat less, move more. Okay, but what do you eat? That's what nobody tells you clearly. So today, I want to fix that. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 specific foods that research consistently shows can help your body reduce visceral fat. Not overnight, but steadily, meaningfully, over time. These aren't superfoods that cost a fortune. They're not powders or supplements. They're real, accessible foods you can pick up at any grocery store, some of which you might already have at home. And I'll also tell you what not to do because there are a couple of very common mistakes people make when they try to eat for fat loss. Mistakes that actually make things worse. Let's get into it. I know. Eat more fish. You've heard it before, but stay with me because the why here is actually really interesting. Fatty fish. Think salmon, sardines, mackerel, or even canned tuna are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. And omega-3s do something quite specific when it comes to visceral fat. They reduce inflammation. Here's the connection. Visceral fat is not just stored energy, it's active. It releases inflammatory compounds into your bloodstream. And chronic inflammation is one of the main reasons visceral fat is so dangerous. Omega-3s essentially interrupt that cycle. They quiet the inflammation down. A study published in the International Journal of Obesity found that participants who added omega-3 rich fish to their diet without changing anything else showed measurable reductions in visceral fat over 12 weeks. You don't need to eat fish every single day. 3 to 4 servings a week is what most research points to. And if you genuinely dislike fish, a high-quality fish oil supplement can fill the gap. Though whole food is always better. This one surprises people. For years, eggs got a bad reputation. High cholesterol, bad for the heart. You've probably heard those warnings. But the science has shifted significantly. We now understand that dietary cholesterol, by which I mean the cholesterol in the food you eat, has far less impact on blood cholesterol than we once thought. And more importantly, eggs are one of the most powerful protein sources available. Why does protein matter for visceral fat? Because protein keeps you full, preserves muscle mass when you're in a calorie deficit, and this part is key. It has the highest thermic effect of any macronutrient. That means your body burns more calories just by digesting protein than it does digesting fats or carbs. I used to skip breakfast or grab something sugary and wonder why I was hungry again by 10 a.m. Switching to 2 eggs in the morning genuinely changed how I ate for the rest of the day. Less snacking, less reaching for things I didn't need. 2 eggs at breakfast. Simple, sustainable. Okay, spinach, kale, Swiss chard, arugula. Not exciting, I get it. But here's why they matter specifically for visceral fat. They're high in magnesium and fiber, and low in everything that causes problems. Low in sugar, low in calories, low in refined carbohydrates. Magnesium is often overlooked in fat loss conversations. But research shows that people with higher magnesium intake tend to have lower fasting insulin levels. And insulin, when it's chronically elevated, by which I mean when your body is constantly pumping it out due to poor diet, is one of the primary drivers of visceral fat accumulation. Fiber, on the other hand, feeds the good bacteria in your gut, and a healthier gut microbiome has been directly linked to lower visceral fat in multiple studies. The goal isn't to eat a salad you hate. It's to find a preparation you actually enjoy. Sauté spinach in olive oil with garlic. Add arugula to a sandwich. Throw kale into a smoothie where you barely taste it. Find the path of least resistance and do it consistently. Specifically, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries. Here's what makes berries special. They're sweet enough to satisfy a sugar craving, but they have a low glycemic index, meaning they don't spike your blood sugar the way candy or even fruit juice would. And they're packed with something called polyphenols, which are plant compounds that have been shown to actively reduce the size of fat cells. A study from the University of Michigan, done in animal models but with strong implications for humans, found that a diet enriched with blueberry powder led to significant reductions in abdominal fat. But beyond the science, here's the practical point. Most people fail their diets not because they lack willpower. They fail because they never find a satisfying alternative to the sweet things they love. Berries give you that. They scratch the itch. They make healthy eating feel sustainable rather than punishing. a handful with breakfast, mixed into yogurt, frozen and blended, however works for you. Now, I want to be careful here because ACV has been overhyped on the internet to the point where some people think it's a magic potion. It isn't, but there is genuine, peer-reviewed research suggesting that acetic acid, the active compound in apple cider vinegar, helps suppress fat storage, particularly around the abdominal organs. A 12-week Japanese study split participants into 3 groups: 1 tablespoon of ACV per day, 2 tablespoons per day, and a placebo. Both ACV groups showed statistically significant reductions in visceral fat and waist circumference compared to the placebo group. 1 to 2 tablespoons diluted in a large glass of water before your main meal. That's the protocol most research uses. Don't drink it straight. It's acidic and can damage your tooth enamel and esophagus over time. Dilute it. Alright, let's talk about what can go wrong, because this is important. The first mistake: treating these foods like a magic fix while keeping everything else the same. These 5 foods work, but they work within a diet that isn't dominated by ultra-processed foods, sugary drinks, and refined carbohydrates. You can't out-eat a bad diet with salmon and blueberries. The foundation still has to be solid. The second mistake: expecting fast results. Visceral fat is stubborn. It responds to sustained, consistent changes over weeks and months, not days. If you start Monday and weigh yourself Friday expecting transformation, you'll get discouraged and quit. Measure your waist circumference every 3 weeks. That's a better marker than the scale. And third, and I say this gently, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. You don't have to eat all 5 of these foods every single day perfectly. Even hitting 3 or 4 of them consistently most days of the week puts you significantly ahead of where you were. Let's bring it all together. Visceral fat is the dangerous fat stored deep around your organs, and diet is one of the most powerful levers you have to reduce it. The 5 foods to focus on: fatty fish for omega-3s and anti-inflammation, eggs for protein and satiety, leafy greens for magnesium and fiber, berries for polyphenols and blood sugar control, and apple cider vinegar in small, diluted doses before meals. None of these are complicated. None of them are expensive. And together, they create a consistent dietary environment where your body has less reason to store and more reason to release visceral fat. Here's what I want you to do before you close this video. Pick just one of these 5 foods. Not all 5. Just one. The one that feels most realistic for your current routine. Add it tomorrow. Then, the week after, add another. Small, layered changes compound. That's the whole game. If this was helpful, or genuinely helps this video reach people who need it. And if you want to go deeper, next, I'd recommend watching the video on the 3 daily habits that accelerate visceral fat loss beyond just food. It builds directly on what we covered today. You're not behind. You're learning. And that already puts you ahead of where you were. See you in the next one.